My name is Danny Bresnahan, and I'm a senior at Chatham High School. I'm the co-president of the Chinese club with Hannah Kelly Quigley and Krista Marqueen. I'm a member of the German club as well. I run varsity cross country and 2 seasons of varsity track. In addition to AP Chinese, I'm also taking AP German. Last year was a little bit difficult because I had Chinese and then directly after I had German. So it was a little difficult, like switching the thought process from Chinese to German. This year I have one before lunch, one after lunch, so it's not too bad. But I mean, I've continued to take both classes, both languages, because I think in a world that's becoming more and more globalized, it's important for students to become proficient at least in another language. Last summer, I was awarded a full scholarship by the US State Department to study Mandarin Chinese in Suzhou, China for 6 weeks. I was living in Suzhou, China, which is in the Jiangsu province. I studied at Suzhou No. 1 High School, and my classmates and I, we even took an excursion to Shanghai for a day. Well, the main reason obviously was to improve my Mandarin skills because I want to study that in college and hopefully my post-college career. I wanted to study in an immersion environment because that's really the best way to learn a language. The application process was very long. I had to write 3 different essays, answer personal questions, family questions, health questions even. Then I had to go in for a formal interview, I had to get all dressed up, and then the whole process was about, I'd say, 6 months, and then I finally found out that I was accepted and had the opportunity to go. So this was actually my first time leaving the country, let alone a place as exotic as China, so it was definitely a big step. Before the program, I was definitely nervous because, I mean, I hadn't left the country before. I was scared as to whether my Chinese skills weren't as good as my classmates, but it also, I'd say I was more excited than my classmates just because it was something so different. The students were from all across the United States. There was kids from DC, Texas, Oklahoma, California, Colorado, Ohio, pretty much everywhere. And actually they've become some of the best friends I've ever had. Well, so I was there for 6 weeks, and 5 days a week I was going to school for 4 hours a day. I had 4 hours of Chinese class, and then I actually had an hour and a half to 2 hours of culture class every day. And then we'd have an hour of homework time, and then I would go back to my host family. In China, the work ethic of the students, I'd say, is much better. So for example, I had 2 host brothers, they were twins. All they did was homework. They did homework probably like 5 hours after school every day. Sometimes they wouldn't get out of school until 5 o'clock. The biggest thing was definitely the language barrier. In America, you don't really think about it, but you can get by easily because you're fluent in English. Being dropped in another country, not being very proficient in the language, sort of forces you to learn Chinese to get by. Just interaction with everything, like going to the store, buying food, hanging out with your friends. And everything we do, every day-to-day everything was in Chinese because only a couple of my teachers spoke English. My host family spoke no English. So I was sort of forced to learn Chinese to get by. In the beginning of the program, I was very, I guess, self-conscious about my Chinese skills. But after a couple weeks, you start to realize you become a lot more confident in your speaking ability, and that confidence sort of just carried over back to America, not just in Chinese, but in everything, day-to-day life. The trip, I'd say, made me more outgoing. I'm not as afraid to fail. I'm more willing to try new things, even though I may not be that good at them at first. Since I was going to school 5 days a week for 6 weeks learning Chinese, I talked to my Chinese teacher, and I was able to skip Chinese 4 honors. So I went, junior year I took Chinese 3, and then I went right to AP Chinese. In college, I plan to double major or joint major in Chinese and international business. I really do want to continue German, so I'm considering taking it as a minor class. After college, hopefully I'll be completely fluent in Chinese. I'm thinking of working for the State Department, or maybe for an international firm of some sort, German or Chinese, not really sure yet. So if you're thinking about applying to a study abroad program, I would really focus on dedicating a lot of your time to learning the language, because you're really going to want to take advantage of your time there. You're not going to be there too long. You want to speak whatever the target language wherever you go as much as possible, so you can improve as much as possible.
Okay.